Hey guys, how's it going? It's Genesis here again with Peas in a Pod. So as you know, the point of this show is for you to gain cultural knowledge so that you can use it to communicate and have better relationships with the Americans around you. And I want to emphasize togetherness because I think that it's together that we understand culture, and I even think together that we create culture. So today, I've invited a friend. His name's Will, and we're going to talk about Trump quotes and Trump tweets together so that we can share with you what these mean, how we can understand Trump, and how we can use them to understand American culture. Hey guys, here's my guest, Will.
So,
I think he's pretty cool. One, because he's actually worked as a political campaign consultant. Can you tell me a little bit of what that is?
basically what I've done is I've worked on campaigns. We've worked with field operations, basically. Literally people knock on the door or call you and they're like, hey, there's an election this day. Who are you voting for? Or can you go vote? And if you are, can you come help us call more people? As well as messaging strategies for the candidate, how to sort of message themselves to the public.
I see.
So in debates, social media, things like that.
So you work from the ground floor, like the front lines, the basic areas of campaign, and then also with the politicians themselves when they strategize.
Yes.
Cool. And then I know that you also come from Virginia. You told me that it's more than Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
So a lot of people hear Virginia and they're like, oh, D.C. That's just Northern Virginia. Our state is much bigger and much more diverse than just the Washington, D.C. area. We've got our Tidewater area, we've got our mountain area.
Right.
Virginia's, politically, since we're talking politics, would be considered a purple state. It's a battleground. Republicans won it up until 2008, and then Obama won it twice, and then Hillary held on in 2016. So politically, Virginia has sort of moved a little more blue, but our House of Delegates is still barely controlled by the Republicans.
Okay.
As well as our state Senate.
So there are the red states, and then there are the blue states, and then there are the purple states. Could you quickly tell us what red, blue...
So red states are more conservative states. They're states that are controlled usually by the Republican Party. So in Great Britain, that's the conservatives. In the US, you've got the Democratic Party, which sort of lines up with the British Labour Party, give or take, with Jeremy Corbyn more like the Democrats. But in America, we have a two-party primarily system. So we have the Democrats that are more liberal, more progressive, and the conservatives that are more, well, conservative. And so that's the Republican Party.
Cool. My warmest condolences and sympathies to the victims and families of the terrible Las Vegas shooting. God bless you.
So here we're seeing Trump in a more traditional presidential sense. One of the key jobs of the president in the American system is to be the figurehead. Trump says, God bless you here, which is sort of an odd phrasing, right?
Why do you think it would be odd?
Because traditionally we use God bless you as like, in a normal situation, it's not sort of a, I'm sorry that your mother died, God bless you, right? That would be really weird. If I said that to you, you'd be like, what? This phrase, God bless you, it's just sort of a robotic phrase that gets used by presidents. May God bless you and may God bless the United States of America. Presidents just sign off with that. And so it's almost become more cultural than religious. Right?
You feel like there's actually not that much true meaning, even true blessing, when that's being said.
I think the way he uses it in this tweet feels very insincere. It feels very programmed, robotic.
So it seems like God bless you. I think that God bless you is actually a very common phrase in American English, but it's just not the proper context for this. When would I think first of all, you would need to use God bless you if you actually believed in God. But what would be a more proper way to use the phrase God bless you?
So, I mean, at the end of a general speech, right, you see presidents do this.
Sure.
So you'll see at the end of a State of the Union address, you'll see, may God bless you and may God bless the United States of America. You'll see it in more general context. You won't see it Because when you're dealing with a tragedy, you're not necessarily dealing with like a time where we're talking about blessings. Someone just had a family member shot. Why are we talking about blessings? Right? It's a very callous, very cold, very improperly timed thing. Right? You don't talk about God's blessings. You talk about condolences and mercy and
Right.
heaven and those kinds of things. If we're going to make this a religious sense.
I think it would be more proper to say, may God rest their souls.
So, Will also explained other quotes to me off camera, which means he did this when we were not recording. I'd like to move on and explain these to you. So, North Korea actually called Trump a Dotard. I never heard of this word until Will told me about it. Apparently, Dotard means an old person who's become weak and slightly crazy. It's hilarious. And in fact, so many Americans have heard of this word so little that a lot of us went straight to our dictionary just to find out what exactly this word means. But more importantly for us, this led to a reaction from Trump in a tweet that he wrote in response to being called a dotard. He says, "Why would Kim Jong-un insult me by calling me old when I would never call him short and fat? Oh well, I tried so hard to be his friend, and maybe someday that will happen." Let's focus on the part when Trump said, "I would never call him short and fat." Will said that this is what you call a passive-aggressive communication trick. Basically, Trump's words technically are innocent. He said, when I would never call him short and fat. But what Trump is actually doing is he's making us think of Kim Jong-un as short and fat. So it's psychological, right? His words are absolutely innocent, but he plants an image in our minds that's an absolute insult towards Kim Jong-un. And that insult made tons of people laugh.
Guys, what's up? This is Genesis with Peas in a Pod. We are in this big ass house. This dog is having sex with me.